The next morning, the palace of Princess Lyra was bathed in soft golden light. The crystal corridors shimmered, and the floating plants swayed gently in the alien breeze. Jack stepped out of his quarters feeling nervous but excited. Today he would continue his lessons, or, as Lyra had called them, the study of human secrets. Lyra awaited him in the grand hall, perched gracefully on a platform that allowed her to move with effortless elegance. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity, the same spark Jack had seen yesterday, but now there was something new, a playful challenge in her gaze. "Good morning, human," she said, her voice melodic. "I have thought about our previous discussion. Your species is unlike anything I imagined. I wish to understand not only your legs, but how your entire body functions. Will you show me more?" Jack smiled. "Of course, Princess. We can start with movement, and then I can explain how humans are designed for balance and strength." Lyra waved her hand, and a floating training arena appeared, hovering above the palace gardens. The floor was transparent, allowing them to see the alien wildlife below. "This will be your stage, human," she said. "Demonstrate your ways here." Jack took a deep breath. "All right. First, I'll show you how humans walk, run, and pivot. It may seem simple, but each movement is precise." He began with walking. He lifted one leg, placing it gently in front of the other, keeping his balance steady. Humans distribute weight evenly. We use our knees and ankles to absorb impact and maintain control. Lyra watched closely, tilting her head. "So you rely on gravity, not energy fields, to move?" "Fascinating, yes," Jack said. "We've learned to adapt to gravity naturally. It allows us to move efficiently without external support." Next, he demonstrated running. His legs moved in smooth, coordinated motion. "Notice how we push off with our toes and control our stride. Speed comes from coordination, not just muscle strength." Lyra attempted to mimic him but wobbled slightly. "Your coordination? It is difficult to replicate. Our species does not rely on these motions. We glide or float. To move like you, it requires practice," Jack nodded. "Exactly. It may look simple, but humans train for this from childhood. It becomes second nature." He then showed turning and pivoting. With a quick motion, he changed direction while maintaining balance. Lyra gasped. "Incredible. You pivot without energy stabilization?" How Jack smiled. "It's all about control, timing, and understanding your body. Every joint has a role." He bent his knee, flexed his ankle, and twisted slightly at the hip. "See? Each part works in harmony." Lyra leaned forward, fascinated. "This is unlike anything I've seen. Your legs, they are astonishing. They carry not only your weight, but your body's potential." Jack bowed slightly. "Thank you, Princess. But there's more to show. Humans can adapt to uneven surfaces, climb, and even recover from unexpected falls." He led her to a section of the arena filled with varied terrain, small platforms, slopes, and low obstacles. "Watch this," he said, hopping onto a platform and landing gracefully. He ran along a sloped surface, adjusted his steps mid-stride, and balanced on narrow ledges. Lyra's eyes widened. This is amazing. Humans are practical and yet elegant." "Every movement has purpose," Jack laughed. "That's the idea. Movement is not only about getting from one place to another. It's about efficiency and survival. Our bodies are built to respond quickly to changes." Lyra stepped onto the arena, trying a simple stride. Her long limbs made the movement awkward, and she stumbled slightly. Jack rushed to guide her, showing her how to shift her weight properly. "Use your knees to absorb impact, your hips for power, and your feet to stabilize," he instructed patiently. She nodded, attempting again. Slowly, she managed a more balanced stride. I can feel it. It is strange, but efficient. I did not expect this from humans," Jack smiled. "You'll get better with practice. The key is understanding how your body works and trusting it." Lyra's gaze softened. "Your species, it is full of surprises. Strength, balance, agility. And yet you appear ordinary at first glance. I can see why humans are underestimated." Jack laughed. "We often are. But that's part of our advantage. People expect less and we show more." They spent the morning exploring different exercises. Jack demonstrated jumping over obstacles, climbing platforms, and balancing on narrow ledges. Lyra tried to copy each movement, sometimes failing humorously but always improving. Each success brought a small smile to her face and a spark of admiration in her eyes. "Humans are clever," she said at one point, "not only physically but mentally. To move like this, It requires thought and awareness. Jack nodded. Exactly. Humans combine mind and body. We learn, adapt, and find solutions to challenges. That's part of why our species survives in so many environments. Lyra's curiosity grew with every demonstration. She asked questions about muscles, tendons, and bones. And Jack explained in simple terms, always careful to make it educational and respectful. He showed her how the knee absorbs shock, how the hip generates power, and how the ankle provides balance. Lyra tried to imitate a running motion, her long legs moving awkwardly. Jack laughed softly, helping her adjust. It's not easy at first, but you'll notice that once you understand the coordination, it becomes natural. She paused and studied him. You are patient, human, and generous with your knowledge. I expected arrogance, not guidance. Jack shrugged. Humans are curious too. We like to share knowledge when it helps others learn, and teaching someone as curious as you makes it fun. Lyra tilted her head. I admit your species has qualities that my people do not fully understand. You are resilient, clever, and adaptable, perhaps more than we anticipated. Jack smiled. Thank you, Princess. We humans do our best. We survive, explore, and invent. That's our nature. By midday, they paused for rest. Floating platforms appeared around the arena, offering refreshments, nutrient pods, and water synthesized from local minerals. Lyra observed Jack as he ate. Even your eating habits. Simple, yet effective. You preserve energy, maximize efficiency. Fascinating, Jack laughed. You could say that. Humans like to keep things practical. Efficiency is part of survival. Lyra leaned back on a platform, her eyes thoughtful. I have seen many species across the galaxy. Some strong, some intelligent, some beautiful. But humans are all of these in combination. You are underestimated and yet remarkable. Jack felt a warmth in his chest. Compliments from a princess of this caliber were rare. I appreciate that, Princess. But remember, humans are still learning. We make mistakes and we adapt. That's how we improve. Lyra nodded slowly. I understand. I wish to study your species more, perhaps. I could try some exercises alone tomorrow? Jack smiled. I think that's a great idea. You'll discover things about yourself too, while learning human techniques. As the sun began to dip behind the violet horizon, Jack and Lyra walked back to the palace, talking casually about human culture, music, and games. She was fascinated by the concept of humans playing and competing for fun rather than survival or status. You enjoy challenges. For enjoyment? She asked, incredulous. Not for ranking or power? Jack laughed. Yes, humans find joy in testing themselves. It's part of learning and bonding. You don't need to win every time to gain something valuable. Lyra's expression softened. Perhaps there is much my people could learn from humans. Beyond movement. The way you think, the way you adapt. It is impressive, Jack bowed slightly. And we can learn from you, Princess. Your technology, your discipline, your vision. Humans admire those qualities. By the time they reached the palace entrance, the sky had turned to deep shades of purple and gold, and the first stars of Arendor Prime began to twinkle. Lyra stopped and looked at him seriously. Human, I am curious, and shocked. Your species, it is unlike anything I imagined. Tomorrow I wish to learn even more, to understand how humans perform these feats so naturally. Jack nodded. I'll be ready, Princess, and I think you'll enjoy discovering more about what humans can do. As he returned to his quarters, Jack felt a growing sense of friendship and mutual respect. The lessons had begun, but more importantly, he had gained Lyra's trust. She wasn't just an observer. She was an eager student, genuinely fascinated by humans and their capabilities. Little did Jack know, the next day would bring even more surprises, including demonstrations that would challenge not only Lyra's physical abilities, but her expectations of humans, and perhaps leave her even more amazed at the species she had once underestimated. The morning sun rose over Arendor Prime, casting long streaks of violet and gold across the crystal spires of the palace. Jack stretched and prepared for another day of demonstrations. Yesterday's lessons had gone well, and he could already sense Princess Lyra's genuine curiosity. Today, however, promised to be more challenging. Lyra awaited him in the palace training arena, her eyes bright with anticipation. Good morning, human, she said, stepping gracefully onto the floating platform. Yesterday I learned much about your species. Today I wish to see how humans perform not just in ordinary movement, but in agility, speed, and endurance. Will you demonstrate these as well? Jack smiled. Of course, Princess. Humans have developed techniques to move efficiently in many situations. Let me show you. He led her to a larger section of the arena, designed like an obstacle course. Platforms of varying heights floated above a garden of glowing alien plants. Narrow beams, ramps, and small barriers created a challenge for balance, speed, and coordination. This course will test what humans can do naturally, Jack explained. Watch closely, Princess, and then I will guide you through it. Jack began by sprinting along a narrow beam, his movements precise and deliberate. He jumped onto a higher platform, bent his knees to absorb impact, and twisted midair to land safely. Lyra's eyes widened in astonishment. Your balance, it is astonishing, and yet, you rely on no energy stabilization at all? No energy shields, Jack confirmed. Just balance, coordination, and practice. Humans learn to anticipate movements and adjust naturally. Every joint, every muscle works together as a system. Next, Jack demonstrated climbing. He leapt onto a series of floating steps using both arms and legs to propel himself upward. Each movement was smooth and controlled. Lyra watched intently, trying to take mental notes on every motion. You are incredible, she murmured. Your body is simple in appearance, yet capable of feats my species struggles with despite advanced technology. Jack laughed. It's all in how we use what we have. Humans survive in harsh environments because we can adapt quickly. We don't rely solely on strength or tool. We rely on coordination, intelligence, and instinct. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. I had underestimated your species. I see now. There is more to humans than meets the eye. Jack smiled. Would you like to try? Lyra hesitated for a moment before stepping onto the first platform. Her long, elegant legs moved awkwardly at first, and she stumbled slightly. Jack quickly guided her posture. Use your knees to absorb the impact. Your hips provide power, your ankles maintain balance. Trust your body. She tried again, this time landing more securely. I can feel it, she said. The control. It is strange, yet natural. How do humans learn this? Jack explained. Practice, observation, and understanding your body. Every movement is purposeful. Humans have evolved to adjust quickly to unexpected situations. Balance is part of survival. Lyra continued down the obstacle course, gradually improving with each step. She attempted jumping from platform to platform, twisting midair and landing gracefully. Jack guided her patiently, offering tips and encouragement. With every success, her eyes sparkled with excitement. You are patient human, Lyra said after a particularly tricky sequence. Many beings I have encountered would have grown frustrated. You teach with calm and guidance, Jack shrugged modestly. It comes naturally. Humans like to help, especially when someone is genuinely curious. And you are a very willing student. They moved on to the next exercise, a series of quick pivots and turns. Jack demonstrated, weaving between narrow platforms and changing direction with ease. Lyra tried to copy him but struggled with the rapid changes. Jack adjusted her stance, showing her how to shift her weight and use momentum to turn more efficiently. Ah, Lyra exclaimed after her first successful pivot. I did it, I am surprised by myself, Jack grinned. That's the beauty of understanding your body. Once you know how to move, even unfamiliar motions become manageable. After a short break, Jack introduced endurance training. He sprinted across several platforms, maintaining speed and control, then performed a series of jumps that would challenge any species. Lyra watched, impressed not only by the physical feats but also by Jack's stamina and control. You humans, you combine strength, agility, and persistence, she said. It is an extraordinary. My people rely heavily on energy manipulation, yet your species achieves so much without it. Jack nodded. Humans are survivors. We adapt to what we have. Even ordinary features like our legs give us incredible capabilities when used correctly. Lyra's curiosity grew. Your legs. They are more remarkable than I imagined. They allow humans to do what no alien I know could do without assistance. And yet they appear ordinary. That's part of the surprise, Jack said. Humans are underestimated for appearances, but when tested, we often exceed expectations. Lyra tried the endurance course herself. She ran, jumped, and twisted, following Jack's instructions carefully. Each success was met with a small victory smile, and even when she stumbled, she laughed and tried again. Jack watched, impressed by her determination. You are Impressive, Lyra admitted. Not only the movements, but the persistence. Humans do not give up easily. Jack smiled. That's right. We may fail, but we try again. Learning and adapting is part of who we are. After completing the course, Lyra paused and looked at him. I am shocked, amazed, and curious all at once. Your species. It is unlike anything I imagined. There is elegance in your simplicity, power in your ordinary form. Jack chuckled. Thank you, Princess. That means a lot coming from someone as accomplished as you. Lyra tilted her head, considering something. You have taught me much today, but I want to see something more. How humans use their legs in combination with the rest of their body. How humans jump, crouch, twist, and run, all in harmony. Jack's eyes twinkled. Then let me show you a full demonstration. He started with a series of movements combining everything he had shown so far. Sprinting, pivoting, jumping onto higher platforms, twisting midair and landing gracefully. Each action flowed into the next seamlessly, showing the coordination, strength, and control humans possess. Lyra's jaw dropped. Incredible. Your body is like a well-tuned instrument. Every part works in harmony. I did not expect this level of sophistication, Jack smiled. It's natural for humans. We've evolved to do these things without thinking consciously about them. Our legs, arms, torso, all parts are connected and function. Lyra attempted to mimic a few movements, this time with much more success. I can almost feel the connection, she said. It is enlightening. I never imagined movement could be so complex yet so natural, Jack laughed. That's humans for you. We make the ordinary extraordinary when we understand it. Lyra's expression softened. I admit human. I am impressed. Your species is not only adaptable and resilient, but also clever in ways I underestimated. I am shocked in the best sense, Jack nodded. I'm glad I could show you. And there's still more to learn. Every day humans discover, adapt, and find solutions. That's why our species survives and thrives. As the sun dipped lower in the violet sky, casting sparkling reflections on the crystal palace, Lyra turned to him. Human, today you have not only demonstrated your species' abilities but also taught me about patience, resilience, and adaptation. I am grateful, Jack bowed slightly. It's my pleasure, Princess. I hope you continue to enjoy discovering human capabilities, and perhaps someday your people might learn from them as well. Lyra smiled, a rare and genuine expression. Perhaps, yes, but for now I will focus on understanding you. You are remarkable. Jack felt a sense of pride and satisfaction. He had survived another day under the scrutiny of one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. He had not only shown human physical abilities but also sparked curiosity, admiration, and respect in Princess Lyra. As they left the training arena, floating platforms carried them back to the palace gardens. The twin moons began to rise, painting the sky with soft light. Jack knew that the lessons were far from over. Tomorrow would bring new demonstrations, new challenges, and perhaps deeper understanding, not just of human capabilities, but of the surprising bond forming between human and princess. And so, as the stars of Arendor Prime shimmered above, Jack and Lyra walked together, talking and laughing, each step a reminder that humans, despite appearing ordinary, could inspire astonishment, curiosity, and respect, even in the most advanced alien civilizations. Jack's shuttle touched down with a soft thud on the surface of Arendor Prime, a world known across the galaxy for its towering crystal cities and strange floating wildlife. The sky was painted in shades of violet and gold, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of alien flowers that shimmered with colors he had never seen before. Jack adjusted his helmet and stepped onto the landing platform, feeling both excited and cautious. This was his first mission to a planet ruled by the famous alien Princess Lyra, and he knew that first impressions mattered. The shuttle's doors opened, revealing a group of palace guards. They were tall, elegant, and unlike any species Jack had ever encountered. Their skin had a slight metallic sheen, and their eyes reflected colors like liquid gemstones. They stepped aside as a single figure approached, Princess Lyra herself. Lyra was unlike any being Jack had seen in his life. She moved with a fluid grace that suggested she was born to command. Yet there was a spark of curiosity in her large, luminous eyes. She studied Jack carefully, tilting her head as if trying to understand what kind of creature he was. "Welcome, human," Lyra said. her voice melodic, yet firm. I have heard much about your species. You are said to be adaptable, resilient, curious. Let us see if this is true. Jack smiled beneath his helmet and bowed slightly. Thank you, Princess Lyra. I come in peace, and I hope to learn as much about your people as you wish to learn about mine. The guards gestured for Jack to follow, and he walked alongside Lyra as they entered the palace. The corridors were filled with soft glowing lights, floating plants, and walls made of a crystal that seemed alive, pulsing with faint energy. Jack could feel the power and history of the place, but he also noticed how Lyra moved. Precise, balanced, almost floating above the ground. It made him wonder how humans compared to such a species in terms of movement and physical ability. As they reached a large observation chamber overlooking the city, Lyra stopped. She studied Jack with renewed intensity. I have seen humans in holo recordings, she said, but seeing one in person is different. You stand upright, yet your balance seems delicate. How do you manage it? Jack chuckled. It's not as delicate as it looks. Humans have developed ways to balance and move efficiently. It's all about how we use our muscles and bones together. Lyra raised an eyebrow. Muscles and bones? I do not understand fully. Could you demonstrate? Jack hesitated for only a moment. He realized this was not just curiosity, and it was a test. How he responded could determine whether Lyra trusted him or not. Of course, he said, stepping into the middle of the chamber. I can show you. First, he explained the basic human stance. Humans stand with our legs slightly apart. Our knees are flexible and we shift our weight naturally to maintain balance. Jack bent slightly at the knees and shifted from foot to foot. See? This keeps us upright even if the ground moves beneath us. Lyra watched carefully, her eyes narrowing as she tried to process what she was seeing. Your movement is strange. Our species does not rely on legs in this way. We glide, we float, we use energy to maintain position. Your method seems primitive, Jack laughed. It may look simple, but it's effective. Watch this. He began a slow demonstration. A small jump forward, landing perfectly on both feet. A pivot to the left, avoiding a low crystal pillar. A small hop onto a raised platform. Each movement was smooth, controlled, and precise. Lyra gasped slightly. Incredible, your legs. They can do all of that? Without energy manipulation? Exactly, Jack said. Humans rely on strength, balance, and coordination. We've evolved to use our bodies in a very practical way. No energy shields or levitation required. Lyra moved closer, circling him slowly. I do not understand. Your species appears so fragile, yet so capable. How can such simple structures support such movement? Jack smiled. They are not as simple as they look. Every part of the leg, every joint, muscle, and tendon works together. It's like a finely tuned machine. He lifted one leg and bent it at the knee. See here? The knee allows us to bend and absorb impact. The ankle, flexibility and balance. The hip, power and stability. Lyra knelt slightly to examine his movements from a different angle. She tried to imitate a simple stance, but her long, flowing limbs made it awkward. Jack gently adjusted her posture, careful not to touch her improperly, and explained the human method step by step. Even though humans appear weak compared to our soldiers, he said, we can endure harsh environments, jump great distances, and recover quickly from falls. We adapt. That is our strength. Lyra's eyes widened in surprise. She had not expected a human to exhibit such resilience and intelligence in movement. Your adaptability, it is remarkable. Perhaps your species is underestimated, Jack nodded. Many humans are underestimated. We may not look like much at first, but when tested, we often surprise others. For the next hour, they continued with demonstrations and explanations. Jack showed her how humans could run with proper posture, maintain balance on uneven surfaces, and even perform quick evasive maneuvers. Lyra attempted some movements but found herself stumbling humorously. Jack laughed with her, not at her. The laughter built trust. Finally, Lyra stepped back and crossed her arms. I see now. Humans have abilities that are different. I admit I'm curious. There is something about your species I do not understand. Jack tilted his head. There is always something unique about every species. Perhaps there's something specific you wish to know. Lyra paused, her luminous eyes studying him with an intensity that made Jack slightly nervous. Your legs. They are unlike anything I have seen. They allow you to stand, move, and perform feats, without floating, without external support. How do you maintain such precision? Jack grinned. That is the trick. It's not magic. It's balance, coordination, and understanding your own body. Humans learn to use what we have to survive, explore, and create. Our legs are just part of the system. Lyra's jaw dropped slightly. Part of a system? Yes, I understand. But it is still shocking, Jack laughed. Shocking in a good way, I hope. Lyra's expression softened. Yes, shocking in a good way. I want to learn more, perhaps. I could try with your guidance. Jack nodded eagerly. Of course. It's all about learning, practicing, and understanding. You might stumble at first, but you'll get the hang of it. The sun began to set over the alien horizon, casting long shadows across the palace gardens visible from the observation chamber. Lyra stepped closer to the edge and looked out at the floating wildlife. Your species. It is full of surprises, human. I admit I did not expect this. Jack smiled, feeling a mixture of relief and excitement. Neither did I, Princess. But that's why I'm here, to show what humans can do, and to learn from you as well. For the first time, Lyra smiled. A small, genuine smile that suggested she was both impressed and entertained by this human. Very well. We will continue this tomorrow. I wish to understand everything about your species. Jack nodded. I'll be ready. And perhaps by the end you'll be surprised even more by what humans are capable of. As he left the observation chamber, Jack felt a strange sense of accomplishment. The first day had been successful, safe, and even fun. He had survived the scrutiny of one of the most powerful beings in this sector. And more importantly, he had sparked her curiosity. Little did Jack know, the next day would bring a challenge unlike any other, one that would test not only his knowledge of human anatomy but also his ability to teach, demonstrate, and inspire awe in an alien princess who had never seen anything like him. And so, as the purple night sky shimmered with twin moons, Jack prepared for what he suspected would be a day full of surprises, laughter, and the unmistakable thrill of discovery. The morning sun rose over Arendor Prime, casting sparkling light across the crystal spires of the palace. Jack awoke feeling a mix of excitement and anticipation. Yesterday had been an incredible day of demonstrations, and today promised to bring new challenges. But more importantly, a deeper bond with Princess Lyra. He entered the palace courtyard where Lyra was waiting. Her long, flowing form glimmered in the sunlight, and her eyes held the same curiosity and playful challenge he had seen in her before. Good morning, human, she said. I have thought about our exercises. Today I wish to see not only human movement, but how humans combine strength, intelligence, and creativity in action. Will you show me? Jack nodded. Of course, Princess. Humans are clever, and we adapt to situations in ways you might not expect. Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. Very well. Show me this. Cleverness. Jack led her to a section of the arena that combined obstacles, uneven platforms, and a variety of challenges. This area would test not only physical skill but creativity in using movement and surroundings to solve problems. Watch closely, Jack said, and began a demonstration. He jumped onto a floating platform, balanced carefully, and then used his momentum to swing over a small gap to the next platform. Lyra gasped. Your timing? It is impeccable. You make it seem effortless. Jack laughed. It's a combination of practice and instinct. Humans learn to read the environment and react quickly. Every movement has purpose. Next, he showed her how humans could use agility and intelligence together. He climbed a series of platforms, jumped over gaps, and moved around obstacles, pausing occasionally to demonstrate how small adjustments make large differences. He explained how shifting weight, timing jumps, and coordinating limbs allowed humans to navigate difficult terrain efficiently. Lyra tried to imitate him. At first, her movements were awkward and she stumbled. Jack gently guided her. Use your hips to generate power, your knees to absorb impact, and your arms to balance. Don't overthink it, trust your body. She tried again, this time moving with much more grace. I can feel the connection, she said, awe in her voice. The way your body moves as a whole? It is astonishing. I never imagined movement could be so integrated, Jack smiled. That's humans for you. We combine mind and body. We adapt to challenges and solve problems with both. Lyra's fascination grew. Your species. It is underestimated for appearances. You are clever, resilient, and adaptable. It is shocking but inspiring, Jack nodded. Humans have learned to survive in every environment imaginable. From deserts to oceans to mountains, we adapt. Our legs, our bodies, our minds, they all work together. Lyra watched him run along a narrow platform, pivot, jump, and land gracefully. I never expected a species so ordinary in appearance to perform with such skill. Jack grinned. That's the advantage. Being underestimated allows humans to surprise others. We make the ordinary extraordinary. After a short break, Lyra insisted on trying a more advanced exercise. This time, the challenge involved not just movement but problem solving. She had to navigate a complex arrangement of floating platforms, adjusting her movements in response to changes in height, spacing, and angle. Jack guided her patiently. Think about where your weight goes. Shift slightly, move quickly but deliberately, and always watch your next step. Lyra's long legs allowed her to cover ground quickly, but coordination required finesse. She stumbled a few times, but with Jack's encouragement, she learned to adjust her posture, timing, and momentum. By the end of the exercise, she was moving with remarkable skill, her confidence growing with every step. You are amazing, human, she said breathlessly. Not just your strength and agility, but your ability to teach, guide, and inspire. I admire that greatly. Jack felt a warmth in his chest. Thank you, Princess. Humans take pride not only in what we can do, but in helping others discover what they can do as well. Lyra looked at him thoughtfully. Perhaps there is much my people could learn from humans. Not only movement, but patience, ingenuity, and adaptability. Jack nodded. Exactly. And perhaps humans can learn from your species too. Your technology, discipline, and vision are incredible. Sharing knowledge benefits everyone. The rest of the morning passed in a blend of demonstration, practice, and friendly challenge. Jack and Lyra tried new exercises, combining agility, balance, and creativity. They laughed when Lyra stumbled over a platform, and she chuckled at Jack's exaggerated leaps and careful explanations. With every success, Lyra's admiration for humans deepened. At midday, they rested on a floating platform garden, watching the alien sky shimmer with violet and gold. Lyra turned to Jack. Human, I admit, I am shocked. Your species. It is clever, resilient, and adaptable in ways I could not have imagined. I underestimated you, Jack smiled. I'm glad I could show you. And remember, there's more to humans than physical ability. Our creativity, curiosity, and determination are equally impressive. Lyra nodded slowly. I see that now, and you are a remarkable example. Patient, skilled, and clever. I respect you greatly, Jack chuckled. Thank you, Princess. That means a lot. I respect you as well for your curiosity, intelligence, and willingness to learn. Lyra's expression softened. I wish humans and my people could share more openly. There is much we could gain from each other, Jack agreed, and perhaps one day we will. For now, I hope I've shown you some of the wonders of humans, what we can do and how we think. As the afternoon progressed, they continued exploring more complex exercises. Jack demonstrated jumping, twisting, and balancing in combination, showing how humans could adapt to almost any situation. Lyra attempted to replicate each move, laughing when she stumbled and smiling proudly when she succeeded. You are astonishing, human, she said finally. Not only your movements, but your patience, your intelligence, and your spirit. I am impressed beyond measure, Jack bowed slightly. I'm glad, Princess. Humans often surprise even the most advanced civilizations. That is part of our nature. As the sun dipped lower, casting long reflections across the crystal spires, Lyra turned to him. Human, today you have shown me not just how your species moves, but how humans think, adapt, and inspire. I am grateful for your patience and guidance, Jack smiled. It's my pleasure, Princess. Teaching someone as curious and dedicated as you is an honor, and it's fun too. Lyra laughed softly, a sound like chimes in the breeze. Indeed, it is enjoyable. Perhaps tomorrow I will attempt something entirely new, combining what I have learned with my own abilities. Jack nodded. I look forward to it. Humans thrive on challenges, and I'm sure you'll discover your own surprising abilities as well. The evening sky turned a deep violet, stars beginning to shimmer across Arendor Prime. Jack and Lyra walked back to the palace gardens, talking casually about human culture, music, and games. She was fascinated by the idea that humans enjoy challenges not for power, but for fun and learning. You play games for enjoyment? She asked. Not for ranking dominance or reward? Jack laughed. Yes, humans find joy in testing ourselves. We learn, we compete, and we bond. Winning is nice, but the process is what matters. Lyra considered this thoughtfully. Perhaps there is much my people could learn from humans. Not only your movements, but your philosophy. Resilience, creativity, and joy in effort. Remarkable, Jack smiled. And humans can learn from you as well. Your technology, discipline, and insight are incredible. Sharing knowledge benefits everyone. As night fell, Jack returned to his quarters, reflecting on the day. He had survived another series of demonstrations under the watchful eyes of a powerful princess. More importantly, he had earned her trust, respect, and curiosity. Lyra was no longer just an observer. She was a student, a friend, and an admirer of human ingenuity. Meanwhile, Lyra sat on her balcony, gazing at the twin moons of Arendor Prime. She thought about the human before her, not just his physical skill, but his patience, intelligence, and resilience. Your species. It is remarkable, she whispered. I underestimated you, and now I am in awe. She realized that humans were not only physically capable, but adaptable, intelligent, and clever in ways her species had not anticipated. Jack had taught her more than just movement. He had shown her the essence of what made humans special. As the stars twinkled above, both human and princess felt a sense of connection and mutual respect. The lessons had begun as demonstrations, but they had grown into a shared experience of learning, curiosity, and admiration. And so, as the night deepened over the crystal spires, Jack and Lyra looked forward to tomorrow, to new challenges, new discoveries, and the continuation of a friendship that celebrated the unique brilliance of humanity. Jack had shown the extraordinary potential of an ordinary human, and Lyra, in turn, had discovered the remarkable qualities that set humans apart: curiosity, intelligence, and the ability to inspire awe, even in the most advanced of alien civilizations. The journey had started with simple curiosity, but it had grown into a bond of mutual respect, admiration, and light-hearted friendship. Humanity, in its ordinary form, had proven itself extraordinary, and Princess Lyra knew she had only begun to uncover its wonders.